לפי זוהר פרשת וישלח ליום שישי. Hashem yelachem lechem ve'atem tarishun. So Hashem will make the war for you and you will win. Bi'aba patach ketiv. Im tashiv mishavat aglecha asot chavsecha b'yom kodshi. It is written in Yeshaya, if you rest Shabbat and you do not do what you need in this day that is sanctified for me. Zaken inun Israel de kushabehu ateye behon edaveka behu mikol shel amim de alma. Says, happy is the lot of Israel. Shakadosh Baruch Hu wants them and wants them to attach to Him, and more than all the other people in the world. Migo de rechimuta, de lehon karevlon legabe ve'havlon oraita. And because of this love that He has for them, He wanted to bring them closer to Him and gave them the Torah. Ve'havlon Shabbat de kadisha mikol she'ar yumin ve'nachta mikola ve'cheta dekola. And He gave them Shabbat, which is the most sanctified day of all the other days. And there is menucha, there is rest, and there is also simcha, right? Because the idea of Shabbat is not only to rest, but is to rejoice. V'shakil Shabbat lekabel oraita kola. And the Shabbat has the same weight as the whole Torah. Uman de natir Shabbat keilu natir oraita kola. And the one that respects Shabbat or keeps Shabbat is like if he keeps the whole Torah. ומי שמשמר שבת כאילו משמר התורה כולה. מה שמה? וקראת לשבת עונג. And you will call Shabbat a pleasure. היינו עינוגה דקולה, עינוגה דנפשה וגופה, עינוגה דאיליים תדעים. It is a pleasure for all. A pleasure for the soul, a pleasure for the body, a pleasure for what is above, and it is what above and what is here. So it is very short. So what is exactly Shabbat? Okay, because we see here Shabbat is so important that doing Shabbat is all the whole Torah. Why? And why also does it say that it's a pleasure not only for us but also for the Elyonim? Because the secret of Shabbat is like the Zohar says in a lot of different places. In Shabbat something happens very special. What happens is there's an elevation. An elevation in nature, there's an elevation in all the spiritual forces, which means there's, in the language of the Sefirot, you know, we are in a certain level every day, the level of the Chol. When Shabbat comes, everything goes up. What I mean goes up, not it goes up physically, but it elevates. For example, we go from Olam Asiyah and we start reaching a higher level, almost to Olam Yetzirah. And this elevation, for us to be part of it, we have to do Shabbat. Because there's a secret why we don't light fire, why we don't work, why we don't do all these things Shabbat, because we cannot do these things, which are physical things, and then participate in the spiritual elevation. It's not possible. So you have to choose. Okay? So if you want to be part of the spiritual elevation, you have to detach yourself from all of these things. It's not that it makes a difference for Hashem, whether you light a match or whether you take a car. It doesn't make a difference to Him. But in this elevation, you got to be able to come in, like you go in an elevator. You know, to go in an elevator, you have to go in and press a button. If you go in and you don't press, then you're not going to move, right? You have to press it. You have to do something. And this is what you have to do. To be part of this, you have to do the things of Shabbat, which is what? Which is to rest, to be happy. Because there's no rest of Shabbat if you're mad and you're anxious and there's the whole thing. That's why it's called oneg. Oneg means I was trying to do that in English. Pleasure, enjoyment, right? It's an enjoyment. And this elevation is so important that to go in it, you need joy. And if you have no joy, it's difficult to penetrate it. I mean, you can. Let's say someone says, well, I'm doing Shabbat. I'm doing everything, but, it's just like an automatic thing. He says, no. You have to make it joyous. That's why Shabbat you have to eat well. That's why you have to sing. That's why you have to go to the synagogue. That's why you have to do all these things. And then you elevate yourself. And when you elevate yourself, then you help this general elevation. Because that's when we say the nature comes up. In reality, if you look at, let's say, a plant does not have the same statue, if you say, between the Chol and Shabbat. If you look at anything, as soon as Shabbat comes, it changes its nature. And like we learned, even the Reshaim that are in Gehinnom, when comes Shabbat, also they have rest. I mean, even the Gehinnom is elevated. Everything is. So when it says Hashem loved us and gave us Shabbat, not for us to eat the dafina. and say, we're enjoying the, it's not that. He gave us the possibility to participate in this elevation that is not only a pleasure for our goof, but like he says here, is our neshama really enjoys it much more than we can perceive. Shem L'Olam. Amen.